Hello everyone! I'm so excited to be here today and share something interesting with you all. I will be talking about Renaissance and Humanism in Europe, Italy. And I promise it's going to be worth your time. So, let's begin.
Have you heard of Renaissance and Humanism? And have you ever heard of Italy? And yeah, if you haven't heard of either of them, here let me tell you about the Renaissance and Humanism in Italy. The Renaissance in Europe originated in Italy in the 40th to 70th centuries as a revival of classical Greek Roman art. Science and culture, a major factor driving this development was economic progress in major cities such as Florence, Venice, and Milan, which became centers of the trade and created a wealthy merchant class as sponsor of the art and science. The Medici people in Florence, for example, supported great artists and saints such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Vinci and Michelangelo, in addition of the fall Constantinople in 453, brought many Byzantine intellectuals to the West, bringing back classical manuscripts that revived Greco-Roman thought. The invention of printing press by Johannes Gutenberg also accelerated the spread of Renaissance ideas, while the influence of the church began to be discussed, encouraging the rise of humanism that emphasized human values and freedom of thought. From Italy, the Renaissance spread across Europe, transforming Western civilization with great achievement in the art, literature, and science that become the foundation of modern progress. Do you now understand? And now, if so, let's deepen your knowledge on this topic. Well, I think my friend will explain more about this.
Well, if you want to know more about the Renaissance and Humanism in Italy, then I will explain more about it. Okay, here I will explain about the influence of the Renaissance on art, science, and humanist thought. The Renaissance brought about major changes in art, science, and humanist thought in Europe. In art, there was a revolution with the development of more realistic technique of perspective, lighting and human anatomy, as in the works of Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. Art also adapted elements of Greco-Roman classics and featured more human expression. In science, the Renaissance marked a shift from the dogma of religious method toward observation-based science and experimentation. Figures such as Copernicus, Galileo, and Vesalius contributed to astronomy and anatomy, while Gutenberg's printing press accelerated the spread of science. Emerging humanist thought emphasized human values, freedom of thought, and education, with figures such as Petrarch and Erasmus reviving classical studies. Humanism also influenced art, literature, and politics, reinforcing the idea that humans have great freedom and potential for development. Okay, overall, the Renaissance formed the foundation for modern art, science, and rational thought that continues to be influential today. Very interesting.
Okay guys, this topic is I need starting, even more is starting if you know the impact this occurred after the entry of the Renaissance into Italy, after the entry of the Renaissance into Europa. Italy became the center of a cultural and intellectual Renaissance that transformed Western civilization. In the field of art, Italian artists began to depict the world in a more realistic way, using techniques such as linear perspective, with figures such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo created monumental works. In the words of thugs, humanists that emphasized freedom of thoughts and classical education flourished, fueling scientific advance and educational reform. In the field of architecture, magnificent buildings such as Sweater's Basilica reflects the principles of classical beauty. Scientific discovery by Galileo and Vesalius seeks the understanding of the universe and the human body. Socially, the Medici family in Florence embraced the arts and science, making Italy the center of a new civilization that spread across Europe. The Renaissance in Italy became a transitional era that marked the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of modern civilization. Now you know about Renaissance and Humanism in Italy.
The Renaissance, which flourished in Italy between the 14th and 17th centuries, resulted in major change in the arts, science, and humanism in Europe. Humanism in Europe, followed by economic progress, the invention of the printing press, and the fall of Constantinople. The Renaissance waked interest in the art, science, and the fall of Constantinople. The Renaissance revived interest in the Greco-Roman culture and emphasized human values and freedom of the thought. Thought in art techniques such as linear perspective, the understanding of human anatomy, created more realistic works of art, with famous artists such as Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, and the field of science figures such as Copernicus and Galileo revelation, the understanding of the universe and the human body. Humanism encouraged the expansion of education and introduced a human-centered outlook which influenced various fields, including humanity, which influenced a wide range of fields including art, literature, and politics. The impact of the Renaissance was profound in Italy, especially in cities such as Florence, which became centers of cultural revival and inspired the rest of Europe, forming the basis of the modern civilization we know today. Modern civilization that we know today.
Okay, guys, so let's say you've just been touring or vacationing in Italy with us and sharing your stories. And that's all for today. I hope this presentation was useful and gave you new insights. Thank you for listening, and I love to hear your thought or question. Bye bye.